I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Sean Aronson. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
It is a fantastic night. I'm excited.
Oh, that's great. I'm excited as well. What part of the world are you in right now?
I am in the Twin Cities area, so St. Paul, Minneapolis, where 2 days ago it was 57 degrees. Today it is 20 and it snowed.
Ouch. Ouch. Well, I do have in my email a draft inbox, an email that I send if needed to your particular situation, which is drafted with Caribbean sunshine. If you do need it, let me know and I'll send that your way. All right.
Look, I could always use some Caribbean sunshine, especially in the frozen tundra up here in Minnesota. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Yeah. Again, ouchie. Well, Sean, tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
I would love to say I have talents, but no, I run a podcast called The Voice Behind the Voice, and I got your message on LinkedIn, and we connected, and I think this is fantastic. I'm a big fan of podcasts of various forms, and I think what you're doing is tremendous.
I appreciate that tremendously. Well, hey, I loved your podcast, your conversation. I love background songs. Like when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm like, radio is radio, and you get into those rooms and you close the big chunk of door and the sound is definitely pristine. But when you're doing podcasts, I think it's the opportunity to do raw and to hear you interviewing and hear the basketball being dribbled on the court and the background songs. I loved it. Tell us more about your podcast, please.
Yeah, so this is an idea that I'd come up with nearly 2 years ago, and so just a quick background on me. I do the play-by-play on TV and radio for a minor league baseball team in Minnesota. And I thought, you know what? Let me sit down and talk to the men and women that have reached the pinnacle of my profession, that have reached the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL, college sports. And I wanted to sit down and talk to them and find out what made them so great. How did they get to the pinnacle of this profession? And everybody's got a story, and I love finding out what those stories are. And I've done over 90 interviews with men and women from all walks of life that do play-by-play, and their stories are fascinating.
Yeah, and do not forget that you do these one-to-one in live and in person.
Yeah, that's exactly right. None of these I try to do every one of these in person, and so far I've done that. It's something that, I'm fortunate having, lived in Minnesota for the last 11 years. We have, 6 major sports teams in the area, and so everybody comes through town, and when they do, I try to sit down and chat with them. And so far, I've been pretty successful doing that.
Yeah, it was definitely fascinating listening to what is definitely overlooked, which is the mad skill that these individuals have for reporting sports live as well. It's really an amazing skill, isn't it?
It is. When you think about it, like I said, each one of these people have their own story, but their job is to tell everybody else's story. You watch a game or you listen to a game, and they're telling the stories of the athletes or the coaches or the teams in general. And I thought, well, what better way to honor them than having them tell their stories, to the public? And really, it's just a joy to sit down across from these people that have reached the top of the profession, which is where I hope to be someday, and find out what sort of characteristics they have that got them to that point.
Tell us one other thing, Sean, that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
Oh man, the last 3 years that I've done consistently. I am an avid workout person. So Monday through Friday, I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I am in the gym. I'm working out for about an hour a day, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. And I look at that as sort of my time. It's my opportunity to clear my mind, to get ready for the day. That's why I do it every morning and get my mind, my body, my soul in shape and ready for the day ahead.
How does that make you feel?
Seriously, if I don't work out, if I miss a workout, I feel like I, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I'm not quite right. So working out for me just gives me this sense of being healthy, of being myself, of being ready for the day and the challenges that I have to take on. I really do. I encourage everybody to work out. You don't have to be, this person where you're trying to get big and ripped or whatever. I just think health is important. And unfortunately for me and my family, I've had some family members that have had health issues. My father, who is still with us, has had 2 heart attacks, and it really, got me thinking that I want to try to be as healthy as I can. And I've worked out for many, many years, but it's something that I do consistently.
Love it. Amazing audience. You're hearing it live from Sean Aronson. Again, he is the podcast host of The Voice Behind the Voice. Definitely check that out. Amazing conversations going on there. Sean, is there somewhere else you'd like for people to connect with you?
To connect with me, sure, they can connect with me a few different ways. I have a Twitter account at The Voice BTV. So it's just the podcast Twitter account. Facebook as well. Same sort of username there. Facebook.com/The Voice BTV. So they can connect with me any way they'd like. They can also email me. Again, same handle, thevoicebtv@gmail.com. I'd be happy to talk to anybody about anything that they want to. I find people fascinating, and which is why I love your podcast, because you talk to so many different people from so many different walks of life in rapid fire, just to get a little nugget from people. And I love that. I love the conversations you have.
I appreciate that tremendously. Yeah, I do find people fascinating. I'm fascinated as well, Sean. I'm telling you, yeah, it's really amazing. Well, Sean, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Sean, what is your earliest childhood memory?
I would probably say it was when I was just shy of 3 years old. My parents brought home my sister from the hospital. She was just born, and my earliest memory is of them handing her to me and holding my sister for the first time. We're 2 years, 8 months apart, and I remember that like it was yesterday, holding my sister when she came home from the hospital.
That's intriguing. How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
I am very close with my family. Family means a lot to me. I consider my sister one of my best friends, and I am the overprotective older brother.
Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Please do.
I love the idea of that little Sean being entrusted with the opportunity to share in a story, and to see that you are the individual now that people trust to share their stories with is pretty fascinating.
That's beautiful. I could never have said that as well as you did. I think that is a very, very nice sentiment, and I appreciate you putting it that way.
Yeah. Even that young lady you just interviewed, right? It's like, she was like, yeah, ask me anything, right? She's like, I trust you, Sean. It's amazing.
But you're right. I mean, when you're talking with people, you have to earn their trust. You have to make them feel comfortable, and I think you do a remarkable job of that, and that's what I strive to do anytime I sit across from someone, because maybe they don't want to open up about certain things. Maybe they've had some terrible experiences in life, but you just want them to feel comfortable when they're sitting across from you, and that's what I try to do.
Yeah, just the way your sister felt comfortable being in your arms, right across from you. It's amazing, right?
I love it. You're the man.
Oh, you are amazing, Sean. Well, if we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
Oh man, when I was 12, it was probably be something by Boys to Men. I was a big Boys to Men fan growing up, so End of the Road, big fan. But any song that they sang was one of my favorites.
Well, it's good to see at the end of the road you've definitely moved from a boy to a man.
I love it. You're so good. You are so good.
Well, Sean, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Sean?
Fire away, my friend.
Sean, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, I have.
Are you married?
I am not.
Do you have children?
I do not.
Do you believe in God?
I believe in a higher power.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
I do not.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes, more than 3 hours a week.
What about screen time? The phone and the computer, is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
It's probably less than 8 a day.
All right. Sean, if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Sean Aronson, what would you say that is?
I would say that take risks in life, because if you don't, then you do not know what the future could hold. Don't be afraid to gamble on yourself.
Love it. Sean Aronson, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I would just say that what you are doing is tremendous, and the people should go back and listen to a lot of the other conversations that you've had with people, because I think it will help them grow as a person by listening to other people's experiences.
Love it. Says the voice behind the voice. Again, Sean Aronson, thank you, my friend, for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thanks, Angel.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.